Hey everybody, this is Camille Essick. I'm host of the SpeakHer Podcast, the podcast where innovators and critics connect. Before we hop into this conversation, what I need you to do right now is hit that notification bell and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube and Facebook at the SpeakHer Podcast, and I'm on Instagram at Camille.Essick. With that being said, I'm here with Walter of Car Talk with Wally. We're gonna have a quick conversation. We're here live in Atlanta, Georgia. Walter,
yes.
Is this not your first time here on the SpeakHer Podcast? I think so.
Yes, this is my first time. So hello, everybody. You can follow me on Real Talk with Wally on YouTube and Car Talk with Wally as well. So
welcome to the show. So we're just going to have a couple of quick questions here. First of all, happy 2025. I know we're still saying that, but this is our first time having you here. So we want to wish you and your family well in the coming year.
I definitely appreciate that.
And as you know, here we have discussions and conversations with Black men and mental health. So just to pick your brain a little bit as far as nothing crazy. But I do want to ask you, Walter, like, what do you think has been your most pivotal moment as far as really being your own personal advocate, particularly as a Black man in today's culture?
I think really the most pivotal moments and most important things for me as I transition into this year, but also really transitioning into the person that I am and know myself to be, is really staying true to myself and understanding the things that are good for me, the things that serve me well, in full expression of who I am, whether it be in the creative space, whether it be in the entrepreneurial space, whether it be with family, friends, expressing myself authentically and fluidly is really the most important thing for me at this moment in my life.
What would you say to yourself from 10 years ago, like your younger self, that you wish if someone had pulled you to the side and have that conversation with you, what would that be?
When I think about myself 10 years ago, I was a person that presented well, that was seemingly confident to the outside world, but internally was facing a lot of battles as far as insecurities and not really truly believing in myself. There was the thing that I was taught early on, where it's like, well, you're smart, so do your smart thing. But then there's other layers of a person to be considered, and that really needs to come out, whether that be, my creative pursuits, using my voice. That has been a big challenge for me over the course of this past 10 years, because I didn't believe my voice mattered.
Where do you think that came from?
I think it really comes from, and if I'm gonna get a little bit deep, there's a few different layers. There are certain things that happen when a child is even in the womb, and certain things in the conception process, that when your parents are not on the same page when it comes to your existence, sometimes that creates triggers in the birthing process.
The vicarious trauma.
Yeah, and I didn't even know I was going to talk about that, but I'm just saying, like, to start from that point on, then you're born, and you don't understand why certain things in the world are the way they are, why certain things in your existence the way they are. Where's my father? Where is that extra layer of support is missing, and you feel it. Regardless of, I've had a lot of family that has been very involved in my upbringing and me becoming who I am. But when you are missing that one layer, sometimes it affects your self-esteem. It makes you cloudy in your judgments about what the world is, what trust looks like. And it creates a layer of silence that really, like, permeates and becomes a part of you.
Yeah.
And so that is has been a fight to find that voice and to understand that it exists and it needs to come out into the forefront.
And I think culturally also then add the layer of gender, being a man and Black men and not having the space to share your feelings.
Yeah.
That's another layer of complexity added onto that, and that can cause someone to go further inward. So, and thank you for sharing that. I definitely understand. So how, fast forward, do you know what was the turning point for you where you were able to kind of find Walter's voice and then navigate the path and pivot emotionally? Like, where was your emotional pivot?
Yeah, that's a real one right there. And this is something that I've never truly talked about on camera, but I would say about a good 7 years ago, almost 7 years, I found out the truth about my father, and just, you know, who that person was. And it was a very interesting way that it came about for me. I'm not going to go into complete detail just yet.
And we can always do a part 2.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so that was a pivotal point for me because I knew that there was a piece of me that was missing as far as not understanding the full aspect of who I am and in the lineage that I come from. And so when I got more clarity about that, I was able to really take the steps to move forward in a different way, about my understanding about what life is, who I am, and putting those pieces of the puzzle together was really the catalyst and the turning point for me.
Wow. Really good. So now here you are. You're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Philly native.
Philly.
Cheesecake. Your love for vehicles.
Yeah.
Because I too, I love cars, particularly trucks and SUVs. So just kind of quickly, where did this love come from, and how did you start Car Talk with Wally?
Yeah, so my love for cars started really at a young age. I was the type of kid that I wouldn't play with like a lot of action figures or, you know, teddy bears and all of that kind of things. I would sleep with cars. That was my thing.
The fire truck.
Yeah. Like literally 3 years old, you know, and I hear stories, and of course I don't even really remember, but I was the kid. My grandfather would take me around the neighborhood and have me name cars like in front of people. You know, I was reading at about 3 years old, so I could read not only the names of the cars, but I could also pinpoint the design elements that really like told me this is what this car is.
Wow.
This is what this brand is. This is what this is. And so
you're like a car savant.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that's cool.
Yeah. And at 3. So it was always something that was a part of me. I would collect model cars. I would even draw cars. I would, you know, I had my own car line and I would release the vehicles every year, and it was just my thing.
Wow.
And I think part of that, it was an escape for me because, you know, when you grow up, you're a little bit awkward, you know you're smart, but you don't really understand, like, I feel different. I don't know why I feel different, but I am different. And so my communication with other kids will be different, because I was definitely an adult as a kid, for sure.
You're mature for your age.
Yeah.
What that grandma say? He's been here before.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've been here before. This ain't my first rodeo. I'm just saying. And so for me, it was definitely an escape. It was something that I connect to. I could relate to. I could learn all that I need to know about it. I can love it, and I can and breathe it in my spirit. And so that's really where that passion and drive for it came from. as far as Car Talk with Wally, I would say it's been definitely a journey because I remember we're 10, 11 years ago starting that process of starting to create car videos, seeing what I sound like on camera, what I look like, and I hated it. I hated my voice.
I think you have
I
a very distinguished, very distinctive voice.
Thank you, thank
So
you.
I don't, but I think I feel that way too. So I understand.
Yeah, like people don't like their own voices.
Yeah,
It's just
like I hate to hear myself.
exactly. And so it was a barrier that I couldn't really overcome at the time. And so I know that I had something to say and I had a vision to put out there in the automotive space, but I wasn't ready. But I appreciate that time because I was able to take the first steps and learn to some things. I reached out to like I was living in Houston at the time, and so I reached out to a local media. Kind of they did auto shows or something, just like local stuff, not anything big. And I was like, hey, I want to form this partnership, da da da, and get a media pass, and I'm gonna do some auto show content and all of that. And so they actually gave me the media pass. So I did go to the car show under the media pass and took some content, and was cool, and I still have it, to be honest. I still have the content. And then days go by, weeks go by, did nothing with it. And I ended up a few weeks later, I moved to Atlanta, took a job, started the corporate journey all over again. And so it wasn't until the pandemic really struck and things were going weird in my corporate career once again, because I have these breakdowns that really bring me back to my purpose. And it's like it happens until I get it and truly understand. And so that's really what brought me back to Car Talk with Wally.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So I thank you for this quick little pop-up conversation.
Yes.
I want to do a part 2 because this was just like an appetizer.
Yeah,
it was an appetizer. Next time we go a little deeper.
Yeah.
But I do want to say thank you and also let the viewers know where they can find you on social media.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube and as well as Instagram at Wally the Godfather. And there you will see content related to Real Talk with Wally. But you can also follow me on Instagram and as well as YouTube at Car Talk with Wally.
All right, folks, there you have it. I'm Camille Essick. I'm host of the SpeakHer Podcast, and this is our first pop-up in Atlanta. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at camille.essick. Subscribe to my website, camilleessick.com, and YouTube. And who knows, we'll be here next time when we pop up in Atlanta. And I'll see you on the next one. Be blessed. See y'all the next one, y'all. Bye. This is our first one. We're going to mess up. Bye. Bye.